Hey guys, how's it going? It's 8-Bit Eric, and earlier I was talking about how Microsoft is kind of having a little clashing with Apple right now in regards to bringing Game Pass over to iOS. Essentially, Apple's App Store policies are just extremely strict, and they're saying Game Pass and other similar subscription services cannot be on the App Store because they're not able to rate or review every single game and give them a proper rating. That it's just not safe for the App Store, which I think is a crock of crap. But a couple months ago, a different company by the name of Epic Games got into a dispute with Apple as well in regards to Fortnite and how, they want to kind of circle around Apple and have in-app purchases that don't have Apple as a middleman. It was kind of a mess. They basically said that Apple has unfair business practices, that they're a monopoly, and that they're just essentially robbing people, that they take too much of a cut from certain games and things like that. It's a whole bunch of mess. And this Microsoft stuff has potential to become a mess too, especially when they're trying to go around Apple and do a browser-based app that can be accessed through Safari or Google Chrome or something on iOS devices. Well, now an interesting development has taken a turn. Microsoft and Epic are going to be joining sides in the fight with Apple. They are promising a more open Microsoft Store. So new standards for the Microsoft Store are an implicit expression of support for Epic's campaign against Apple. So this is getting juicy. This is going to be juicy in regards to how things are handled with Epic, Microsoft, Apple, and possibly other apps and companies wanting to do business with Apple in the future. Before we get into this, if this is your first time coming to the channel, why don't you go ahead and hit that subscription button down below, enable your notifications so you don't miss any of my updates. So here we go. It says in August, Microsoft filed a declaration in support of Epic's request for an injunction against Apple's plan to remove its access to iOS development tools. The company said in the filing that the Unreal Engine is critical technology for numerous game creators, and that taking away Epic's ability to support it on iOS and macOS devices will harm game creators and gamers. So basically, they wanted to fight Apple on this. Apple was playing hardball. They want to remove access to Epic's iOS development tools and everything. And it got ugly. Well, today, Microsoft overtly took Epic's side in its campaign against Apple with a declaration of 10 principles for the Microsoft Store on Windows. The statement makes no direct mention of Epic, Apple, or the iOS App Store, but very clearly draws a line between Microsoft's online storefront and Apple's. So here we go. This is something that's from it. For software developers, app stores have become a critical gateway to some of the world's most popular digital platforms, Microsoft said. We and others have raised questions and at times expressed concerns about app stores on other digital platforms. However, we recognize that we should practice what we preach. So today we are adopting 10 principles, building on the ideas and work of the Coalition for App Fairness to promote choice, ensure fairness, and promote innovation on Windows 10, our most popular platform, and our own Microsoft Store on Windows 10. So they're adopting a 10 principles. And here it goes. This is what the principles are, and this is where it starts to get pretty juicy in the grander scheme of things. So these principles include, in Microsoft's words, developers will have the freedom to choose whether to distribute their apps for Windows through our App Store. We will not block competing app stores on Windows. So first of all, they're not blocking competing app stores like Apple would. Apple does not allow any competition. We will not block an app from Windows based on a developer's business model or how it delivers content and services, including whether content is installed on a device or streamed from the cloud. So this is a little bit more on in regards to how Game Pass goes with, the cloud-based streaming. We will not block an app from a Windows based on a developer's choice of which payment system to use for processing purchases made in its app. This is in regards to Fortnite. They wanted to do directly through them instead of doing the whole payment procedure through Apple. And I've actually, again, had experience with this. When we were developing Zenither, we wanted to have payments made directly in the app, but Apple wanted us to go through them. They didn't want to do PayPal. They didn't want to do anything like that. They didn't want to do They want it specifically to go through iOS so they can get their cut. And it's frustrating. It's a mess. But anyways, they say we will give developers timely access to information about the interoperability, as I get stuttered, interoperability interfaces we use on Windows as we set forth in our interoperability principles. That's a mouthful right there. Every developer will have access to our App Store as long as it meets objective standards and requirements, including those for security, privacy, quality, content, and digital safety. Our App Store will charge reasonable fees that reflect the competition we face from other app stores on Windows and will not force a developer to sell within its app anything it doesn't want to sell. Our App Store will not prevent developers from communicating directly with their users through their apps for legitimate purposes, business purposes. So this is also in regards to Fortnite. Our App Store will hold our own apps to the same standards to which it holds competing apps. Microsoft will not use any non-public info or data from its App Store about a developer's app to compete with it. That is a lot of shade to Apple right there. Because basically Apple Arcade thinks Game Pass is a competitor. Our App Store will be transparent about its rules and policies and opportunities for promotion and marketing, apply these consistently and objectively, provide notice of changes, and make available a fair process to resolve disputes. So it says the first three in the list are basically direct shots at Apple, which forbids other app stores on its devices, mandates the use of its payment system, and dropped a heavy hammer on Epic for stepping out of line. And the reasonable fees bit is clearly a zing at the 30% cut that Apple takes from transactions on its platform. Microsoft, in all fairness, also takes 30% on some sales, including all apps and in-app products on the Microsoft Store that are purchased through an Xbox console and all games regardless of platform, but only 15% on others. They go on to say, as an app developer, we have been frustrated at times by other app stores that require us to sell services in our apps, even when our users don't expect or want them, and we cannot do so profitably, Microsoft said, carefully avoiding any specific message of the iOS App Store. So principle number 6 provides developers who choose to use the Microsoft Store with the flexibility to decide what to sell in their apps. Over the next several months, we'll do the work needed to close any gaps between the current rules and policies in our Microsoft Store and the aspirations set out in these principles. So yeah, it's definitely going to be a pretty big situation. You can see right here, Tim Sweeney from Epic is proudly supporting Microsoft operating systems since '91, and wonderful to see Microsoft formally codify its long-held principles in Windows as an open platform and fair market for all developers and consumers. So things are about to get pretty spicy here, guys, if you want to go ahead and continue reading this and see what Microsoft is saying. But Microsoft and Epic are siding with each other to make changes to the Microsoft Store. This is a art of war against the Apple App Store. What do you guys think down below? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section. Subscribe if you haven't already. I would love to hear what you guys have to say, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.